be love. That's just what I want to say to people. Be love. And when you are in this place where you are not at peace, where you are not feeling that you are love, and it still happens to me too, huh, by the way, because the past is a never ending thing. We never arrive. We are still, I'm learning still. Teaching, learning is just two sides of the same coin. It is very important in these times to honor the place where we are.
You're listening to Inspire Me with Jay, where science meets spirit and stories of meditation and the near-death experience awaken what's possible within us all. I'm Jay, and this is your moment to be inspired. Welcome to Inspire Me with Jay. I'm your host, Jay Spillers. I have a guest today, Keya, who had both a near-death experience that transformed her life, and she also is now teaching meditation that's connected to it all. Why don't you introduce yourself to the audience?
Well, you said it all. We said I am Keya, based in Europe, somewhere between Switzerland and France. My blood, my heritage is very, very mixed. My ancestors on my father's side came all the way from Mongolia. And on the other side, I have Irish, Italian, Swiss, so a bit of a mixture. And well, I'm just a human being living on this beautiful planet, going through all sorts of experiences. And consciousness has been a passion, as well as cultures and ancient wisdom from native people. I've been blessed to work with a lot of Lakota people, particularly, and also Hawaiians and other people. So that's me. I also teach language. I was a professional recording and performing music artist. I'm still producing music. And I'm a mother. That's it. And I teach languages.
So why don't you tell us what happened with your near-death experience? You were like 14, I believe, and it changed your life.
Yes, completely. Yes. So it was just an accident. And every accident is always um, never an accident. It's a succession of things that didn't go as usual. And in this case, I was not meant to be on that road that day. And that car was not meant to be on the other road. And the car hurt me, bumped into me, and I lost consciousness. I fainted, and the woman thought I was dead because I was riding a bike, and the shock like sent me in the air, and she heard my head bump onto the roof of the car and the front of the car, and then on the road. So the skull got broken, the hottest bone of the skull got broken in two places. Thankfully, um, they didn't open my my skull after. They let it heal because it was not deformed. But that triggered two phases of coma. And when I came back, um, especially at a time where France was so rationalist, they've been very, very imprinted by this hardcore rationalism. And so nobody spoke about these things back then over here. And so people were coming to see me at the hospital and going like, oh, poor little one. And I was like completely blissful, illuminated, and I was like, no, it's the best thing that ever happened to me. And people didn't understand. They thought it was the shock on my head and that I was a little deranged. uh, I cannot say that I remember a lot of the detail, of what consciousness experienced, what I can say and share is that the love, the like soup of love, ocean of love that I was immersed in. There's nothing like that on this planet where we live. And it's been my path to write about this love, sing about this love, share this love, um, remind people that we all came from this love, and beyond the veil, in this little glimpse that I was blessed to have, I've kept something which is not a belief system. It's not affiliated with a belief system. It lives here. It is like a knowing, something that when you have been able to remember it in from this identity, because we all go home and come back and go home and come back. So we all come from there, but we don't remember. And when we are in this density of this planet, physical planet, in a physical body, and the body can have ailment and pain and this and that, and there's all these things, that there are all these things that are not necessarily the best face of love, right? Especially in these times of transition we're in. So this is what I can tell about this. And it took me many, many years to put a name on it, because back then nobody talked about it, especially over here. And then some books started to reach the old Europe, and a very, very limited number of people started to talk about it. Now it's much more common. There are beautiful podcasts, documentary movies, people like you who, allow people to testify, because I think it's we should never be afraid of death. There's no such thing as death. It's just a transformation. It's just consciousness moves on. Yeah, the body stops, this body, but it's like a suit.
So did you see like a brilliant white light
And
or
we get in.
something?
Well, I will avoid to go into those kind of spaces. So number one, my memory was erased. What happens before a shock, it's erased from the memory. Second, I kept some 10% of how did they call it, permanent partial incapacity, which makes it so that a part of my memory, it's like on a hard drive, a part of it was erased. And I believe that we see what we I've watched and read many books and watched many documentary movies on other people's near-death experience. So some people talk about the white light and the tunnel and this and that, I believe we are shown what we need to see. And so to me, that is not the most important thing. What matters is that beyond the veil, there's love. There is no death, and it is easier to die than to be born. But this is this I'm saying not from that experience. I'm saying from when I quit the recording industry, I took a class for 3 years with a former quantum physicist, a Frenchman who wrote many books, who studied and worked at the Monroe Institute in California and many places. And he was teaching back then, so 30 years ago, techniques of consciousness expansion and regression techniques and all of that. So I was then able, through this technique and other techniques, to access some, I call them memory aspects, soul memory aspects, And we did work on the moment of birth, the fertile life, the life inside the womb, and the various stages when the baby is actually born. And we also worked through no drugs used, no plant medicine used, only consciousness expansion. It's a technique of synchronization of the two hemispheres of the brain, which really allows consciousness to travel beyond time and space. And so I experienced many of deaths that this consciousness that is now talking to you through this body went through, and my own birth as well, which was much more difficult. The birth was much more difficult, much more challenging, much more even, I would say, traumatizing, because when the time of passing comes, in the experience I've had of it, and many times, consciousness actually goes out through the crown, and even the physical pain is not experienced. I'm not going to go into the detail of some of the deaths I experienced, but one of them particularly was especially um, potentially painful if you look at it from the human perspective. It's like, God, you know. And no, actually, there was no pain because consciousness was already out, and
So, like when you had your near-death experience, did you come back knowing that something had changed, that something had happened, or was it kind of like years of processing it to really get it?
Oh, it was absolutely instantly a complete change instantly, because just coming back, um, I had a difficult childhood. My parents, I was brought up in a very dysfunctional family. My parents were at war with one another. I was also very lonely, didn't have brothers or sisters. My dog was my main company, was half a wolf, a quarter of a wolf. We were told. There was not much harmony. And of course, I'm a sensitive person. And so it was difficult to find joy. And I was feeling awkward, and I was like, what am I doing here? And having deja vus and stuff like that. And honestly, I thought I was a bit crazy. Because I was not like the others. I felt like I was a bit of an alien. I was something I could not fit in the mold, and that's been the case all my life. But after that accident, after that NDE, um, the I'm not saying life became easy. No, I'm not saying um, I, I'm a human. I still experience a lot of things. I still experience, and have after that experienced very hard tests I had to go through, and a lot of letting go, and a lot of stuff. But there is no doubt, and I was really illuminated. I came back with that joy. I came back with that love. And at first, I believe I was trying to convince people too much, because I would talk about these things, and the world was certainly not ready. So a lot of people like started to look at me as if I was really a weird person. And it didn't make it easy for me. But anyway, I believe we are what we are, and each one of us has something to offer or to share or to transmit. So I don't know if I've answered your question, but yes, it was an instant, complete. And also, my parents came to visit me at hospital for the first time in my life. They were not fighting because they were so worried about what had happened to me. But that is on the human side. But I can tell that the power of this love and this oneness because it's love and it's oneness. The, the feeling that we have when we are here in a physical body, to be separated, to be isolated, sometimes to be alone or to be lonely. All these things, they don't exist beyond the veil. So that changes us, yes. But then, was it an instant integration? No, certainly not. Probably a guiding light on my path, something that gave me the strength to go through. I had to go through after that, all along.
So basically, this sets you on the path to, um, explore spirituality and connection and things like that. Um, so you did the Monroe Institute, and you started to get into meditation too, didn't you?
Monroe Institute was not me, it was the teacher I mentioned, the physicist. I didn't do the Monroe Institute. I did a course for 3 years with this man and many other courses. But yes, definitely. I mean, I don't know if I can share about numerology. My life path in neurology is 33-6. So it's nothing is an accident. This accident was actually a blessing, so that the human that I am would not forget why I came here, to participate in the collective elevation, participate in the collective. Everybody is talking about that word awakening, but yes, we are in times of a big transition, a big shift of consciousness, and the conversations we could not. Well, I was trying to have like 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 20 years ago. It was not easy. Now, pretty much everybody you can talk about these things, not everybody, but it has been changing. So for me, yeah, it led me to I was already practicing a little bit of yoga. I was already drawn to ancient wisdoms of the Far East. I was already with the dream of meeting real medicine people in America, to be initiated. There was also because this accident did bring some stuff physically. Um, I'm not going to say it's not exactly a disease, but the body started a dysfunction. The left cortex started a dysfunction. Some the actually the endocrine system. I don't want to go into details, but the endocrine system started dysfunction. So, and medicine, uh, conventional medicine could never understand this body. So I was wrongly diagnosed, and I'll pass on these details because it's a little bit boring. But that also brought me to osteopathy. I was treated by a man who was, there were only 20 people back then in over here doing craniosacral work. This opened consciousness even more, because from these micro movements, of because back then people thought the skull was um, not moving thing, like one big bone, solid. No, it's actually like the earth. They are the plates tectonic, they move, and the parts of the skull move also, and those micro movement push the fluid which is in the skull that bathes the brain. And I don't want to go too technical here. I'm not an osteopath, but I received a lot of treatments, and so my entire path was definitely changed. The core, I don't know, because we we never know. If something hadn't happened, what would the path have been? I believe nothing is by accident, nothing is by chance. We come as souls. We are not physical people having a spiritual experience. We are souls having an experience in the matter. I'm seeing you completely frozen. Oh, here you are. And voila. So each soul comes also to learn certain things, to probably bring certain things, but also to learn certain things, to experience, to explore. So definitely for me, life has no meaning without the depth of spirituality and consciousness.
And you believe in like a holistic approach to mind, body, spirit.
Yeah, absolutely. I cannot even conceive of anything different because we are not separate. There's separation is just part of the illusion, and it's at all levels. So it's the same within us. There's no when somebody is sick or diseased or there's an ailment or condition, whatever kind of, there's always physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. We talk about four bodies on some of the grids of reading and understanding a human being, but there are fantastic people who've done amazing work. Like, for example, Louise Hay did some absolutely beautiful, mind-blowing work to establish the correspondency between um, ailments and the emotions that go with it. She's written lots of books. I used to read all these books, and I believe it's absolutely true. And I've talked to hundreds of people, like, a friend calls you and they tell you, oh, my knee is so painful, and you go like, okay, the knee is connected to that. And yes, we are all life. The Lakota people, they have this word mitakye oyasin, which means all life is related, and we are all related. We now know that the trees have this way of communicating from their root and from the network, the fungi, which is underground, and it is the same for us as humans, and it is the same inside of us.
Yeah, it's kind of like
So for me,
water
it's not.
carries. Yeah. Well, it's kind of like water
Sorry.
carries memory.
As well, yes. And
Mm.
water is very, very um, in one of my songs I say water is the medicine of the future. I was actually diagnosed a disease when my son was 5. I have a son who's now 27. He was 5 back then, and I was married, and I started to be really sick. And the diagnosis was that there was an incurable autoimmune disease, degenerative, and terminal under 3 years. Water was a great help. So there was no cure. So I did not get any help from doctors. When they say it's incurable, you're just basically on your own with spirit. And I was inspired to actually create a technique which I facilitate, which is called Quantum ReUnification, which is a journey, a quantum journey, and water has a very important part in my healing, in what allowed me. And every day when I shower, when I drink water, I talk to the water. I say thank you, I love you to the water and to the body. And the water that comes into the body is also bringing that information. There was this research by Dr. Masaru Emoto from Japan a long time ago already. And he managed to photograph the crystallized drops of water, and we know how water reacts to the energy we give it. And we are made of 70% of water. So what we put into the body and the way we relate, because basically for me, the key, on top of water being the medicine, because we are made of water, is also that we can actually, from our consciousness, establish a communication, a dialogue, a conversation with the cells in the body. We are made of trillions of cells, and they work for. So for me, the big lesson when I was diagnosed was that I should treat this body well. And, if you are like, imagine you're the boss of a big factory. If you keep on mistreating the employees and the staff, and you talk to them harshly, or you don't pay them, or you don't feed them, or you don't allow them to feed themselves, and you never get them any time to rest, what happens? I mean, maybe I don't know what you guys do in the US when this happens, but I can tell you that in France, they don't let that, they go on strike, right? And disease, to me, in this case, in this thing that happened to me, there was other stuff associated, the marriages, so some energy situations, but to me the message was clear, was like, I need to, if I want to stay on this planet, to be there for my son, and in a healthy body, not as a vegetable, who needs to be. I didn't want to do that to the loved ones. I need to change the way I've related with my body. I need to give it thanks. I need to be grateful. I need to, talk to these guys that allow me to talk, to breathe, to move, to dance, to eat, to walk, to read, because we take it for granted. No. And I've always had a healthy diet because I could not swallow meat from childhood. So it was vegetarian, as they say. Can eat a little bit of fish. But I had to learn to eat pretty young because there were lacks in this body. And I believe that what we put in the body in terms of food, or what we drink as well, of course, is very important. But it's also the way we communicate with it.
Yeah. So you created a quantum reunification. And so is that, I mean, it was sort of started with all the experiences that you had, but like, how do you start quantum reunification? How does that work?
Okay, so quantum reunification, some people tell me from time to time, oh yeah, I've heard of it. Like, no, because it's not been taught by anybody. I'm the creator with spirit. Don't take all credit, but it's a protocol or a method that was created through my own healing. It is a journey of consciousness. I don't need to be in person with the people. Actually, I prefer not to be. I work with my eyes closed, and the person is invited to also close their eyes. So we do it on the phone or on WhatsApp or whatever. And it's this capacity of consciousnness expansion, which I've been practicing for over 3 decades now, that has become like a language I speak, if you want. Okay. And so my consciousness actually moves into, so I accompany the person's journey. It is a journey of their consciousness. My consciousness is like holding the hand of their consciousness. Depending on their intention and what they come to address, it can be my consciousness going into the body and exploring and seeing things, and then going into the cause, because there's always a cause, and medicine tends to not want to address the cause. Medicine tends to want to suppress the symptoms. I mean, conventional medicine. Doctors have a very important role. They know the anatomy, they can, and surgery has made tremendous progress. So I'm not at all speaking against anybody. But we need to go to the cause. We need to understand what created something if we want a person to be healed, Otherwise, they're given a drug, and this drug might have a negative effect on some organ, like the liver does not like drugs, and so on, or the stomach, or this and that, and then they become they feel worse and worse. So quantum reunification is not particularly only treating a disease or this or that. It's a very simple thing that people are invited to bring an intention, and this intention will lead to what they need to be made aware of. If there's a physical ailment, that will also be addressed to what their soul needs to allow. So how can I put that? We can only go as far as the person's soul allows us to go. There are some conditions, some diseases that are a choice. We call them karmic, right? And if it is the soul choice to experience a condition that is actually going to serve the evolution of that being, we are not going to go against that. Of course not, because this is not allowed. And the law of non-interference is something you don't want to, mess up with. So it's always with the agreement of the soul. And the process actually starts when the person decides to go through a quantum reunification session. They start to open something, and their soul starts to prepare what is ready to be processed. There's never been any problem. Mind you, I don't do that as a business. I could probably make a ton of money doing this as a business. To me, it is very, very sacred. And I cannot do too many of these sessions because it's a lot of energy to get out of yourself and serve in this manner. But I love seeing people being free, their life changing, and it is something I love doing.
Well, is it
And there's a
something?
website.
Oh, yeah. Is it something like they have to go into a hypnotic or meditative state first, and then you're able to work with them? And how long does the session take?
Well, it usually lasts around 60 minutes. Sometimes it can be 55 minutes. I've seen some sessions going a little bit over an hour. It all depends on the person. And yes, there's a little meditation induced in the beginning, very, very simple. It's just like allowing the body to relax, and the person to basically go inside themselves. And then there's a very important stage, which is we actually go in consciousness into the center of the earth. And then at the end, we get back to the center of the earth in the connection with the heart, what I call the heart of Mother Earth. And she speaks also. There are sometimes messages through me as a channel, and she speaks to people. And I've always been profoundly amazed by the complete unconditional love she offers. So like I bring somebody into the heart of Mother Earth, right? And she's there and she's welcoming the person, whomever it is, whatever the person is experiencing. And it's like a big warm hug and pure love, what the Hawaiians call aloha, unconditional love. It doesn't matter what the person thinks about themselves. It doesn't matter whether they are in the midst of a big crisis. It doesn't matter if they are young or old or whatever they've done in their life. They are always welcomed as a child. And I believe we are all the children of the earth in this physical form as terrestrial beings.
So is this something that people could do on themselves, or is it always better to have a guide that's sort of, working with you and in you?
I'm not sure I understand the question perfectly. I am the one facilitating the session, right? People cannot just do that by themselves like that because they would not know what to do. And it took me 30 years of practice. Consciousness expansion is not something we learn at school, right? So I had this 3 years training over 30 years ago with a man who was a physicist. So all of that is based on science to begin with. It's not just woo-woo, fancy, new age bullcrap. No, this is based on the reality of quantum physics, quantum mechanics, as some people still call it. And then there's this ability that we as human people have, but it's not, it's still quite pioneer even now, because people don't talk too much about the synchronization of the left and right cortex of the brain. We actually have incredible capacities as humans, but a lot of it is unused and unexplored. And that's what the times we're in are so fascinating, because the world is finally starting to open up to that. Honestly, Jay, when I see what I've done to this body, anybody can do that. I've healed from a disease which was not supposed to be curable, and I'm not a genius. So, it's just a work of love, a work of faith, a work of patience, and dedication and integrity, I would say.
Are you able to teach this to other people so that they can be basically like a facilitator too? Or is this something exclusive to what you're able to do?
I believe that there will come a stage where it will, where I will probably have to teach it. I have not. So I'm a teacher. I'm a language teacher, life coach. I do a lot of stuff to help people. I've been also teaching vocal coaching. I teach 2 languages. I teach English and also French to expats. And I've been teaching for a long time now, all sorts of people, children, adults, many levels. So I know how to teach. And this method, this protocol needs to be taught at some point. Yes. It will probably be something that will come on my path in a maybe not so far future. It was not ready so far because I've explored the idea.
You're listening to the Inspire Me with Jay podcast. Please do like and subscribe to the channel, bringing hope and inspiration to the world.
If I don't teach it, it's going to stop with me leaving this planet. It's just, I'm waiting for a clear signal. And, I stopped wanting a long time ago. I stopped wanting because when we come from a place of want, I don't know, it taps into the separation, it taps into resistances, maybe. There are many people who teach many things. There are many people who say many things. And there's always this question of how valuable is it, and is it the right timing? I've learned that some things you try to get them to happen, and if the times are not ready for them to happen, they're not going to happen, or it's going to be not fluid. It's not going to flow. So, yeah, I'm thinking of creating something that will allow me and probably few other people to really teach, because I see particularly in one specific regard, I see a lot of young people who are now in their 20s, 30s, or even 40s, who came to the planet with some of these abilities. Some people call them gifts or whatever, like people being empaths, for example. And it's not an easy thing to live through. And there are so many tools, so many things that can make their life easier, because we came a little earlier and we went through the jungle with the machete. So you know what I'm saying, right? Mm-hmm. So I believe we have a duty to help those who join the planet. Like, for instance, and this is not exactly just the quantum reunification technique, but the quantum reunification method or technique or protocol, whatever you want to name it, is just one aspect of a whole thing. So this whole thing includes the diet, the food we eat, the way we breathe, how we can keep mental hygiene, right? We all keep physical hygiene. We all shower, we brush our teeth. Lots of people don't even keep mental hygiene. Like, they keep on being overwhelmed, especially nowadays, because we are literally bombarded with information on all sides. And if you're a little too present on social media, I don't do there's social media. I don't do TikTok. I don't do much of Instagram. But some people, they literally, like, you walk in the streets, you see youth, and they live like that, right? They're glued to their screen. And what happens to even the brain at the end of the day? It's a constant overwhelm. So I believe we need to, teach some things that we have learned, so that these particularly sensitive beings can find a way to balance, to find their own peace of mind, their own harmony, whatever is happening in the world, because the world is going through a lot of madness, and it also generates a lot of sadness, wars and stuff like that, and what's being done to children, and it can be very, very heavy to the most sensitive people. And so I believe there's going to be some form of academy to come in the. I don't have timing for that, and the quantum reunification process will be a part of it, but it will not just be that. I believe it's. This teacher, Patrick, he was called, used to talk about the quality of being. And we've been in a world of doing. We've been in a world of achieving, getting, taking. And the times we are in that are so challenging bring the necessity to maybe go a little more to the essentiality of life, maybe less into doing or wanting to possess, and maybe just a little more into understanding that the world is also the quality of being that we manage to generate inside ourselves, the capacity to also love who we are. On my path, I found that probably the most difficult thing, to learn to love who I am unconditionally, because we get hurt by our parents, by school, by even some friends, and nobody's. I don't believe people are mean. Most people are not mean. They don't intend to hurt, but they've been hurt, so they hurt again. We all know the saying, hurt people. And so it took a lot of work to heal and to understand that I deserve also to love me. Because for me, it was easy to love everybody. But what about this one? Right? And so it begins also inside. And this quality of being, we can find it's not just a miraculous thing. You're not going to do one quantum reunification session and come out completely transformed. It's going to bring you more in contact with your essence and with your soul, and your essence is going to guide you more easily into maybe eating healthy food, maybe finding a rhythm, maybe stopping to do some things that are not so good for your body. Mm-hmm. I've seen some people stopped some medication because the medication was actually creating imbalances in the body and stuff like. And I will never ever say that to somebody. I will always bring them back to go see your doctor, because I'm not a doctor. No pretense here. But their own being receives from within the information at some point that maybe they need to change something. And then it is between, it's an inner job. So, but yeah, love is definitely the key. Healing with love, and it begins within.
How do people?
And as the beautiful.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to add this beautiful, Rumi, the great poet Rumi. I forgot the exact quote, but I remember that it's about our greatest, the greatest achievement of a human is to remove the obstacles that prevent us from being this love.
How do people find you, and how many people do you think you've worked with Quantum ReUnification?
Probably a few hundreds by now, but I must say I don't do any publicity. I'm a little bit of a hermit sometimes. I do have a the Quantum ReUnification has a website, www.quantumreunification.com. The website needs to be updated, and at the moment I'm looking for webmaster. Somebody vanished somewhere in Bangladesh, so but it's not exactly how it is meant to be. I really wish to simplify it greatly, but it exists, and it has a link page to also my music and all.
Yeah, so I think you had said that you do music, and you've got like an album or something coming out related to world peace.
Yes, so this is I've recorded some albums before. There is an album which is online everywhere, which is called Only Love Is Real. It was released quite some time ago, but it's jazz, so it's not trendy music. So it's not a music that's going to be dated by the trendiness of its sound. But the thing I'm working on as a producer is a song. It's not an album, it's a song. It's a long song. It's a 7-minute song. It's a song I received in a deep state of meditation. So I have a daily practice of meditation, and it's a particular technique that is taught by Dr. Frank Kinslow. We are a little group. We gather on Zoom every day, and we all were trained by Frank back to 2021. When COVID and the lockdowns and everything made it so that he was teaching online. So it's a particular modality, which is that we go into nothingness. So it's about nothingness. And it's a very quick technique, very absolutely great. I was in this meditation when the Ukraine nuke plant of Ukraine was attacked by Russia back to February 2022. And so here I am, this consciousness in this deep state of meditation, and this song comes. I receive the song. It's like a download. And so I needed to grab a piece of paper and a pencil. I love to write songs with a pencil. By hand, it's better. Sometimes I have only my phone, or the laptop. So I wrote the song as soon as the meditation was finished. My piano was there, so I worked on the melody. I found a recording studio not too far from here to demo the song. And we started, I say we, because a friend from Brazil, who's a sound engineer, decided to help me. And we started a production online with a lot of people from Clubhouse. I don't know if you knew that app, Clubhouse. So there was a lot of musicians and singers there. And this production, I had to stop it in September 2022 for many reasons. Number one, the time was not ready. Number two, I don't want to go into the details of that. I would prefer not to. But then last year in 25, my son, who's also a professional musician and sound engineer, mixed the tracks we had from 22 for a gift, for a family thing. And when I heard the song, it made me cry. And I just thought, I have no right to not, because it's like an assignment I've accepted from Spirit, and I'm just like the vehicle for the song to exist. So I got back to it. From scratch, I restarted the production. called some friends that I've known for over 3 decades in the music business, who are amazing musicians. Brian Henry is the musical director of Soul to Soul in London. He immediately said yes, helped me to completely recreate the new canvas. And it's a big team. We are not completely done. We are very close to the finish line. It's a big team. It's a lot of musicians, lots of voices. There is also a little introductory movie that just happened. So the thing is, Jay, when you stop wanting and you just allow, things happen through me. I don't even decide them. They happen. And my job is to allow them to exist. And of course, it takes a lot of work. Of course, it's a lot of hours and hundreds of hours of work, talking to people, organizing, coordinating, motivating. And all of this is, I do it for free. It's, I believe our generation and the generations before have brought a lot of imbalances into this world. And so I feel that we owe it to the next generations, our children, their children, and the generations to come. We owe it to them to, help a little bit, And this song, the message of this song is super simple. It's basically inviting people to remember that peace is always within to be found. Of course, not the what the monks call the monkey mind is going to constantly disrupt that peace. But we can find this peace. And the song is also saying that we are all people. Doesn't matter what ethnicity, what generation, what walk of faith. At the end of the day, we are all, whatever the religion or practice, or not even practice, believers and non-believers alike. There's a mantra that opens the song, and this mantra was given to me by Rinpoche, who is building a big world peace sanctuary in Lumbini, the birthplace of the Buddha. And we met on Clubhouse back to 21 when I sent him the first demo of the first song that had another Buddhist mantra in the introduction. Rinpoche said, "Song is good, change the mantra." So I said, okay, give me a mantra. Give me because I was asking for permission to use a Buddhist mantra in a song that is destined to, one day or another, become public. And not only did he give me permission, but he gave me another mantra. So I had to re-record the entire introduction and all the layers of harmonies. And this song is for believers and non-believers alike, because it's not about the particular practice somebody has. Some people feel that they need to go to church. Some people want to go to a temple. Some people some people say they don't believe in God. They can have a good heart still. Fine. I mean, these things are very intimate. They're very personal. We also know now that, the church sometimes has concealed a part of the truth. The Concile of Nice erased some of the documents. Was Yeshua really, really what the church wants him to? We are starting to question these things. For me, I respect everybody. I respect every walk of faith. I believe there's a reason for people to be where they are spiritually, and I have no intention to change that. And the song is also bringing together all walks of faith, all generations, So the youngest is 3 years old, and the eldest is probably around 70-ish. And all creed, all ethnicities, all colors, because we are all of this diversity. And that is us, humanity.
Mm-hmm. So
And
it's
we
like,
can bring this peace.
so I mean, so it's like some of the music already out there, and some of your teachings, like if someone could find, are you like on YouTube or anything? You know?
I do have a YouTube channel for my own thing, although not very well tended, because the thing is, you nowadays, if you're a music artist, you need to do it all. So you need to do the promotion and this and that and that. I'm a creative, I'm a healer, teacher, creative, and music artist, many hats. I just don't have the time or the passion to really take care of my socials and this and that. So yes, there is a YouTube channel on with my music name, Keya. And people can find a lot of information online. My music exists online. The song for peace will not be released in my name. It will be released as Artists United for World Peace. It is not yet finished. We are close to the finish line. It will be mixed by an amazing mixer who was awarded 7 Grammy Awards, and he loves the song and accepted to mix it. Oh, the song was done without a budget and without sponsors. So that's also something, which also made it to be slower, much slower, because it's easy nowadays. You know, people nowadays make a song with AI in 2 hours with a video. This is a human-made thing. So it takes much longer, but it will hopefully be ready soon. I had to let go of any deadline idea and really put it in divine time. And that's what it is now. So it will eventually be released, and hopefully people will help pass it on.
Yeah. So
And
is
yes,
it,
it will be on YouTube.
well, that's good. So is there like one final word you'd like to leave with the audience before we close out?
Well, thank you for having me. That is my gratitude to you, Jay. Uh, be love. That's just what I want to say to people. Be love. And when you are in this place where you are not at peace, where you are not feeling that you are love, and it still happens to me too, huh, by the way, because the path is a never-ending thing. We never arrive. We are still, I'm learning still. Teaching, learning is just two sides of the same coin. It is very important in these times to honor the place where we are, how we are, and never judge self for going through like a rough patch, for instance. You know, uh, just be true to what is present in the moment. Don't panic because of what's going on outside. Yes, there's been a lot of ugliness which has been brought up. Yes, indeed, not very pleasant. Some things are like, how can some humans do like hurt children and stuff like that, or still go to war and kill? It is very disheartening. Uh, I believe we see it all because there's more light than ever. There's an immense influx of light. And so it's like, you know, when the rays of sunshine go into a room, you see places that looked clean, and all of a sudden you see that not that clean, right? So we are in these times of kind of a purge of, and it begins within. And we go deeper to, there's been a lot of suffering on this planet. Humanity's gone through a lot of very painful stories, all these wars, all these, segregation, racism, separate, all based on the illusion of separation. And this is what ego is, the illusion of separation. But we need an ego, because if we don't have it, we cannot experience being a separate being. It's just like, let us not let it drive the car. Remember, we have a heart, and at the end of the day, be love. Just be this love. Remember, this is what we are. This is our true essence. And not everybody can do that. And that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, well, thanks
It's
for
part of
being
the
on
story.
today. Yeah.
Thank you.
See.